Hello, and a very warm welcome to the new garden. It's no longer the secret garden, this is now my new kitchen garden, so come have a look. This year, this has been known as the secret garden to you, but to me, I've been calling it the self-sufficiency garden. It has already grown almost 7,000 portions of vegetables in the last 9 months. It's got an average yield of about 8 kilos per square metre of growing space, including perennials. And its footprint is only a half-size allotment plot, or half a doubles tennis court. I created this garden project initially in response to the cost of living crisis. I wanted to show that you could produce a huge amount of food from a small space and not have it take hours upon hours of work every single week. I was also fed up with hearing excuses, including my own, that self-sufficiency in veg isn't possible in the modern day. Well, turns out it is. What I did at the start of the year was create a plan, and I've just been following that month by month. And I've ended up joking that I spent more time photographing and weighing the produce than gardening once the garden was set up. So why on earth was I photographing and weighing everything? Well, I think it's important for me to be completely open and honest about this. The only reason why this garden exists was because of a concept of a book that I had about a half-size allotment plot to grow enough food for like a family to be self-sufficient in veg. And it ended up becoming a reality. This is the Self-Sufficiency Garden, my new book that I co-authored with my colleague Sam, and he's a professional chef by trade, so he's bringing all of the elements on how to work with what the garden provides you in terms of produce, so you're not having to depend on rigid recipes. Instead, I think like one of the key skills of self-sufficiency is flexibility and adaptability in the kitchen. So that's what Sam offers in a very chunky chapter within this book. And as the season was progressing, I was in this space and I thought, you know what, this would actually be an ideal change for a kitchen garden. It makes sense because we've got our other permaculture projects here, but this is separate. And so we've created the book, and now this garden lives on as kind of my new kitchen garden. And yeah, really excited with what's to come. The book features everything: DIY projects, hotbeds, time-saving crops, growing skills, becoming 90% self-sufficient in compost, how to utilize the produce in the kitchen, how to adapt the book to your own space, and a lot of supporting information. On average, we've produced over 7 kilos of tomatoes per square metre. One of my favourite parts is the square metre gardening chart that outlines average plants per square metre for a particular crop, and then that expected yield per square metre. So it's designed to be super useful to help you plan out your own space and see just how productive every piece of your garden can be, particularly if you do succession planting. We grew Oregon sugar pods, around 5 kilos of the Monge 2 just on the top edge of the bed, and then there's a bunch of beetroot and then fennel. Those have all been taken out. Now it's daikon radish that's gone in this way and Spanish black round winter radish that way. So again, another example of succession planting. Now I personally have opted for raised beds with sides. I kind of find it easier for photographs and showing the different areas. However, you don't need to do that. That is a big cost saver. But during this project, I found some quite surprising things. For example, I've calculated that the payback time of the polytunnel in this garden is only 2 growing seasons. I'd never really properly done a project where I kind of measured yield or outputs. The total now is 368.6 kilograms of food. And so I thought, 365 kilos of food. I wasn't sure if I was going to reach it or not. That was meant to be over a year. That was for the book. But after hitting 600 kilos in 10 months, I'm very confident that you don't need much space at all and you can grow a lot of food. And the secret of how easy this has been to manage is following a monthly planting plan. And so we include that within this for each month. So there's a monthly guide So yeah, that's enough of the book right now. It's just no nonsense, super practical, and it's available to pre-order as a link down below in the description. Now that this garden has served its initial purpose, it now becomes my new kitchen garden. And so welcome to the new home of this YouTube channel. My vision for 2024 for this space is I'm going to be turning it into an edible permaculture jungle. I'm still very much going to be dedicating the individual raised beds to staples, but there is going to be types of polyculture within that. But I'm going to have a lot of fun with all of the borders around the garden, and just kind of you walk through the gate and you get transformed into this other world. It kind of felt like that earlier this year, but it's going to be a little bit more almost like wild and polyculture-y, because I did share a lot of the produce from this garden with my colleagues, etc. But I want this to be an equivalent of my kitchen garden. And so I've got no one else that I really need to feed. As long as I can feed myself and be self-sufficient in vegetables, then I can just have fun with the rest of it, because I think that's what gardening very much is all about. Now, obviously, if you want to save as much money as possible, go for it. You know, that's why I wrote the Self-Sufficiency Garden. But part of growing is also creating a space that you love and you want to return to, and you want it to kind of speak to you. And yeah, I am absolutely itching to go, because, you know, this is definitely a downscale in size, but my excitement for having that constriction of less space to work with is huge. I could be really lazy because of the size of the garden. I could just do a tour and point at, like, oh, look at the climbing beans and the hotbeds. There are hotbeds behind this mass jungle, and I literally don't really know how it's going to work out next year. But the single fundamental is, as long as I'm self-sufficient from the food grown from this garden, then everything else should just be about creating hopefully the most kind of like beautiful, rich space. If you have a gardening friend or family member and you're kind of a bit stuck on what to get them for Christmas, what you can do is, it won't arrive for Christmas, but you can pre-order a copy of the book. And in the video description, I've added a downloadable UK gift certificate and US gift certificate that you can just print off and sign your name, and it just formalizes that they can look forward to a copy of this book towards the start of the growing season to help them on their journey. So yeah, just a little suggestion that I thought might be nice.